dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Jack Demler. Iran launched drones towards Israel as retaliation for an Israeli airstrike on the Iranian consulate in Syria, which killed Iranian military officials 2 weeks ago. Christian Benavides reports this could escalate tensions.
Sirens and explosions heard throughout Israel as Israeli air defenses appear to be intercepting incoming Iranian strikes. Late Saturday, Iran announced that for the first time, it launched drones and ballistic missiles towards Israeli territory in a dramatic escalation after decades of tensions between the two nations.
The regime in Iran fired a massive swarm over 200 killer drones, cruise missiles, and ballistic missiles towards the state of Israel.
Earlier, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in an address to the nation, said, "Our defense systems are deployed. We are prepared for any scenario, both in defense and attack." U.S. officials believe Iran's attack could include more than 100 drones, 150 cruise missiles, and even ballistic missiles used for long-range strikes. President Joe Biden, who was in Delaware for the weekend, cut his trip short to head back to the White House to meet with national security officials, despite recent disagreements over its response in Gaza. At a press conference earlier this week, the president said the U.S. stands with Israel.
We are devoted to the defense of Israel. We will support Israel. We will help defend Israel. And Iran will not succeed.
Iran is looking to retaliate after an airstrike on the Iranian consulate in Syria 2 weeks ago. 7 military officers were killed. General Frank McKenzie, former head of Central Command, says there's real concern an Iranian attack could lead to wider conflict.
If there's a significant mass casualty event inside Israel, then I think the possibility of escalation is very, very high.
Israel has limited gatherings and is recommending its citizens to stay near safe rooms and shelters. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
U.S. officials say U.S. forces have already intercepted multiple drones on their way to Israel. Former Chief of Operations in CIA's Counterterrorism Mission Center, Andrew Boyd, shares the feeling that while there's a lot of unknowns and uncertainty, the strikes could lead to escalation.
The U.S. forces in the region are prepared for this, but there's a lot of unknowns. As far as escalation goes, we'll have to see over the next 12 to 24 hours what this all means, but there is a significant potential for an escalation into a broader regional conflict, which again, President Biden and his entire administration want to avoid.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell released a statement regarding the strikes by Iran. McConnell says, quote, "In the face of Iran's significant military strikes on Israel, the United States must stand with our ally as Israel's national unity government takes necessary measures to defend its people and its sovereignty." McConnell went on to say, "We cannot hope to deter conflict without demonstrating resolve and investing seriously in American strength." One Kentucky lawmaker is asking for another to resign after being charged with wire fraud. Last night, we reported a criminal complaint says Commonwealth's attorney Scott Blair used his position of authority to assist various people who were facing criminal charges in the county between April of 2020 and March of this year. The complaint says Blair requested something of value, including sexual favors and methamphetamine, several times from multiple people. Now, Attorney General Russell Coleman is asking Blair to resign. In a statement, Coleman says, quote, "Prosecutors cannot be effective if they violate the public trust. Given the serious accusations of abusing his office to assist criminals in exchange for drugs and sexual favors, the public good demands that Scott Blair immediately resign." Coleman went on to say he wants the families in Perry County to know that they will not be without a felony prosecutor at any point, saying, quote, "Our office, along with law enforcement partners and prosecutors across the Commonwealth, will step in to protect this community and uphold the rule of law."
We saw some really nice weather across southern and eastern Kentucky on this Saturday, and we're going to see some chilly temperatures tonight. Let's take a look at what's going on out there right now. Outside the WYMT studio, it is 52 degrees under mostly clear skies. Pinpoint Doppler, there's a little green on there, but it's not precipitation, just a little ground clutter showing up tonight, and that could be indicating a little fog may try to set up over the next couple hours. Satellite and radar, clear as can be. No precipitation, next to no cloud cover, and that's going to allow our temperatures to fall throughout the remainder of the overnight. 52 right now, Hazard, London, 54 Somerset, Williamsburg. Good evening, Pikeville. You're at 58 degrees. As we take a look at that forecast from the WYMT First Alert weather app, you can see we are heading into the 40s overnight, but temperatures actually start to climb before sunrise as some warmer air pushes into the region. That's going to bump our temperatures up to near 80 for the next several days. That's also going to introduce some rain shower chances, and there's much better chances of rain as we head to the middle to end of the week. We'll take a look at that extended forecast coming up here in just a few minutes, Jack.
Thanks, Shane. Enjoying that nice weather. The 5th District Lincoln Club gathered this evening to honor the former Republican National Committee Chair Mike Duncan, joined by Representative Hal Rogers and Senator Mitch McConnell. WYMT's RJ Johnson has more from Corbin.
More than 400 Republicans gathered at the Corbin Center to honor the service of former RNC Chair Mike Duncan, awarding him of the Lifetime Achievement Award. Among the panelists was U.S. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell.
I could remember on numerous occasions trying to talk him into running for office himself. He'd have been a great candidate. He chose not to do that and make his contribution in other ways.
Contributions such as the Center for Rural Development.
Mike Duncan has been a part of practically all of those charitable organizations we put together to do various things, including Unite, unlawful narcotics investigations, treatment, education.
Representative Hal Rogers says Duncan has helped create several organizations helping people across the state.
He's been with us the entire time, and we're seeing some results from the various organizations that are headquartered in that center. But the one thing I'm most proud of that he did at the center was start what came to be known as the Rogers Scholars.
Duncan says it is important to stay united as it has gotten the party to the place it is now.
One of the things that I preach to state parties is that you've got to do what you're supposed to do. That's to elect people. You're not a debating society. The debate belongs to those who have run for office and are in office. We're out there to elect people to office. And that holds a lot of state parties back, and it didn't hold us back.
As for his message to future generations of the party,
never give up.
In Corbin, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Addiction Recovery Care President and CEO Tim Robinson announced the first scholarship in Duncan's name, awarding it to current UK student and Breathitt County native Jackson Gay. Corbin Mayor Susie Rasmus was recognized at the banquet, winning the Nancy Mitchell Women in Leadership Award. 2 organizations are hitting the trails to spread awareness for Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month. Officials with the Rising Center and the Pathfinders of Perry County hosted a walk at Perry County Park to spread awareness for sexual assault. Rising Center Program Director Jasmine Wilson says they are out to let survivors of sexual violence know that they are not alone.
One, to get out what we do, but just for survivors to see that people in the community do support them. Our goal is to just bring more awareness about sexual violence in our community and show survivors that we support them. So every step we take today just says that we're here and we support you.
Wilson says this is one of several events they are hosting to spread awareness for sexual violence. For more information, you can visit their Facebook page. Today marks a decade since the Antonio Franklin Jr. VIP program Peace Walk began. The annual Peace Walk was started by Franklin's mother, Anita Franklin, honoring her son and the many others who have lost their lives due to gun violence in Lexington. After Anita's death, the Fayette County Sheriff's Office and Anita's other son, Ricardo, are continuing her mission with hopes of ending gun violence one peace walk at a time.
Losing my brother 10 years ago, you know, it's hard to even put into words how it truly feels, and just being able to come back here. And you know, I didn't want to come back here for a while. I didn't have the courage to, but seeing how my mom kind of handled that kind of instilled it in me that I needed to make a difference. So here I am.
In addition to the walk, more than a dozen organizations and even other families of gun violence victims offered resources and a sense of community to others fighting the fight. Coming up, one Eastern Kentucky community got together to celebrate a country music icon.
And the forecast taking a turn to the warmer side over the next couple of days. We'll take a look at just how warm it'll be after the break.